fight with pain, and music is my aeroplane.
All right, greetings and
One
welcome
hot minute.
to Old Drunken Discography. I'm your host, Jason. With me is Hannah,
Hey.
Ed,
Make this stop.
Bill,
Oh, I am here for the long haul.
and Tim.
Bring it.
If you missed the previous videos, check the playlist link down below. This one is about one hot minute. Here are the current rankings. If you have missed the previous video, shame on you. Couple lineups there matching up. Interesting times.
Which one's line up again, Jason?
Well, you and Tim have the same top
Jason
three.
and Ed's.
I don't know. I mean, you and Ed also have the same top three, if I remember.
That's what I said. There's a couple lineups. Two.
A couple.
Yeah.
Two by two. Anyways.
You're right. So,
All right, who's starting this one?
why don't you go, Ed? Talk to us about one hot minute.
All right, so by this time in the timeline, Prashante has snapped, and they go into Saturday Night Live and perform the really horrible version of Under the Bridge that you should be able to find on YouTube.
I love it.
And Prashante completely snaps in front of everybody in the nation, because back then you had to like tune in at that time, so it was like a wide range of fans.
Well, it was Saturday Night Live.
And it was live.
And it was live.
It
was
was
on Saturday nights.
So
I
what
remember
happens, it
reading
happens.
about this one where Anthony had said he thought John was trying to sabotage him.
Yeah, there was a lot of bad blood in between them too. I don't know what happened. Even in the book, they don't really say much about what really happened. They said it was like creative differences, but I'm not sure like what
there was
like
something
specifically. No, it had to be more than just music or business. Something happened. Anyway, so
drugs.
He leaves.
Well,
yeah.
He leaves, and when he leaves. That's a big part of the Peppers that left with him, because he was a part of the creative force of the band. Why people like that album so much, at least the one before this one. So we get one hot minute with Mr. Dave Navarro coming in. Now, musicians will know, like, style is very important, not just as a band, but each individual member, because it drives the music in different avenues. And Dave took the music, I think, in a way that I don't like it. I don't think sonically it makes sense. I don't think they felt comfortable really having these songs, in my opinion. And also Dave probably never fit in from reading in the book. Like, they all had issues with him because he just didn't fit in.
A lot of
with
feedback.
them very much. I am?
Oh, it's Hannah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, continue on.
So, with Dave coming in, taking the band into even more of a rock, but it was more like a heavier, it wasn't the same rock, funk rock, punk rock thing. It was more of a, I don't know, the sound was different. And anyway, so he took him down this route, and we get one hot minute. Now, there are a couple of bright points in this album. It is not, I don't really listen to it very often. Aeroplane, I believe, is a cover.
Nope.
No,
is not a cover?
That's a Kiedis original right there.
Really? I thought it was a cover. Anyways, Aeroplane, I enjoy that one. My Friends is a good little ballad, I thought. P is a, one to remember. You got Flea singing, which is cool. Also, Tearjerker, a song about Kurt Cobain. There are not that many out there, but Tearjerker is a song about Kurt. I believe, what year did this come out?
95.
95. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
it was
around,
just after that.
Yeah. So that Tearjerker song is one. There are not that many written about Kurt, and
there's actually a bunch. I think every band that put out an album in '95 had one.
Even my local band in Pensacola, Four Squirrels, had a fucking song about Kurt.
Well, the one that I really like is about Mary Lou Lord. She has one out because she dated Kurt before Courtney. Anyway, that's my favorite. This one is okay. It's not one of the best that I've
I
heard.
mean,
But
even Van Halen had one.
Van Halen had a song about Kurt? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
I remember it was on the Balance album. I don't remember what the name is.
I'll check it
I'd have
out.
to-
I didn't know that. One Hot Minute, pretty good. Anyways, it has some high points, but it's not one that I constantly go back to. But yeah, that was my 2 cents on that.
I'll follow that up. I'm kind of the same. I remember hearing Warped back in the day and going, what the fuck? But it's kind of grown on me. It's kind of grown on me. Aeroplane, kind of the same. I'm glad it exists. It has given me 20-something years of jokes and making fun of. So, deep kick, long, boring.
It's to another 20.
Yeah, I'll be making fun of that song for years to come, hopefully. Long, boring, awful, dumb for Deep Kick. My friends, it's okay. It's a little pandering to the times of the slow, sad alternative rock songs, but whatever. Coffee Shop, I've always hated the wobbly effects on the vocals, on the verses, but the chorus is decent. I like the meet me at the coffee shop, we can dance like Iggy Pop melody. P, it's so dumb and bad, and yet so good at the same time. Best song on the album, and a top song contender. This should have been a hidden track, though. I think it would have been a really fun hidden track. One Big Mob, Blood Sugar songs had so many transitions and it flowed. This album, they try to repeat that, and it just turns out with songs that are broken and jarring. And One Big Mob is the worst offender of this. Walkabout isn't the Chili Peppers we asked for, nor wanted. Tearjerker, it's okay, it's good. I'll give the album that. P and Tearjerker. One Hot Minute, nope. Didn't need any Jane's Addiction Chili Peppers. Falling into Grace, not a fan. Shallow Be Thy Game, not a fan. Transcending, not the worst closer, and it sounds like the Peppers. The first half could be on Californication or Stadium. The back half sounds like Dave Navarro Peppers, which is not the Peppers I want.
Yeah, I'll jump in after that. One Hot Minute, more like one hot steaming pile of shit. And that's all I got.
Oh.
Okay.
I'll follow up Tim's with that. I think mine's a good follow up for that. One Hot Minute lasts for a little bit longer than One Hot Minute, but that's okay. Warped. Okay, this is actually an interesting intro. I felt like to this point one of the better intros to this point. Airplane, top song contender. It's funky. It's smooth. It's got some stuff going on. I like it. Yeah,
you know what to do with that, Jason.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey. Right here. It's okay. Remember, no regular slaps, only dookie slaps for me. Anyways.
You heard it.
No, you're getting dolphin slapped.
Dolphin slap? Nothing.
Right? That whale tail's coming for you.
Whale tail slap.
Whale tail slapped.
All right. Deep Kick had a slow start,
Fucking editor, god damn it.
but then it picked up. Hey, whatever you gotta do in there, you
Dang,
gotta say,
they hit you with that
Godspeed, Jason.
whale slap, dude. That's brutal.
And don't worry. Hey, I can take it. I'm well acquainted with the slapping. Anyways,
Oh, bro, no.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
oh, I am. Trust me. I've been there, done that, seen it, experienced
Going
it.
back for seconds.
Oh, hey, sloppy seconds is what I'm here for. Anyways,
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's sloppy.
all right. Deep
Come
Kick.
back,
Once
Tracy.
again, rewind, reprise. Deep Kick. Slow start, then it picks up. I like the chorus. It's a solid follow-up to the last two songs. Have flashes of Blood, Sex, Sugar, Magic within it. Good, decent song. Not good song, decent. My Friends. Nice, slow kind of opener with it. I like it. Like the last couple verses in it. It's okay. It kind of compounds a little bit. Coffee Shop starts with can't read shit, but that's okay. And my next words are that's okay, so it's okay. Um, it doesn't follow up very well for me though. Not sure about it. P is slow, it's smooth, it's quick, and that's great because it's quick. One big mob. I literally just figured what I said. The build up in the middle is solid, but that's about it. Build up solid. That's what happens. Walkabout, it's funky, it's groovy. I really like the bass and guitar a lot in that. Otherwise, that's it. Tearjerker, it's another song that kind of happens. It's pretty. It's slow compared to the other ones. It happens.
That one reminds me. That was a good one because I think it. If you don't know what it's about, you figure like because he talks about seeing you wearing a dress with those piercing blue eyes. So you think he's talking about a girl, or somebody that he was like enamored with. But then you start
Yeah,
thinking
that's
it's like, oh yeah,
originally my thoughts.
yeah, and then you're like, oh yeah, Kurt wore dresses, like and you gotta see like it was very cleverly done, I think.
So we get to 1 hot minute. See the above comments, which I just said right before, but the guitar is better. But it does drag a little bit throughout the album. Falling into Grace, all right. Solid vibe song. I could just vibe to it. It's okay. Shallow Be Thy Game. It's Under the Bridge, part 2. Don't worry, parts 3 and 4 will be following in the next couple episodes. Stay tuned. Transcending, it's an interesting closer. Probably Tim's favorite is what my exact notes read because I thought this was going to be Tim's favorite given the metal aspects and everything else going on. Obviously, I was wrong. See the last couple episodes.
Tim, what did you say about this one again? Refresh us.
About transcending.
Mm-hmm.
More like
One steaming pile of hot shit.
yeah, more like descending into just nonsense.
Which, given the fact that it wasn't good metal, makes sense. Like, hey, this is sounding a little bit more metal. Obviously, I don't accurately have a read on you yet. Like, no, I get what I get.
You can tell that these.
It wasn't
guys,
my favorite ending. I'll tell you that.
Sure.
You can tell that these guys did not want to make this album. Like this is not the Peppers. Like this is doesn't.
Well, I mean, they clearly wanted to make.
Yeah, they
this
wanted to
album,
make
but
it.
They wanted to make
Yeah.
it.
They're
They
missing.
wanted
What
to.
was
They just
on
didn't
it
know what
wasn't
they.
what they wanted.
Yeah.
No, I
And
don't.
to be fair, Anthony,
I don't think they
and
sound
Nav-
comfortable in this album. Like
And,
I
well,
don't.
and to be fair, Anthony and Navarro were really into the needle on this album.
Really,
Oh,
really,
well,
really into
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like really into it.
This was a
and then,
really
yeah,
dark time for them.
There's also a thing here where like just the album as a whole, like this is their first post Real Fame album. This is also their post Grunge Explosion album. And like Hannah said earlier about Blood Sugar, how it felt really like early 90s to her. This one feels really mid 90s to me.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah, no,
chasing
it does.
so many trends.
Well,
And
John, I know the band won't play any of these songs live. Well, John won't play any of these songs live. Like they played it when Josh joined the group. They actually
Sure.
played some of these live, but John will not play any of these songs. And he won't play any songs with Josh. I don't know why he does that because I would like to hear some of these live. I would love to hear Aeroplane live. That's not. I mean, it's annoying, but I would like to hear it live.
Interesting thing I have, the B-side I wrote notes for Jason didn't have on the lyric sheet, and I don't know what the fuck I wrote for it. But I thought it was actually a pretty song, and it was a top song contender. So I needed to figure out what the fuck it was after all this shit.
Yeah, because it's got a couple bonus tracks. So
You don't know the
Yeah.
name of the song?
It wasn't one of the three you have listed, which I usually like write. I usually do an anagram, like, hey, these are the letters in it, and I figure out from there. It's not any of the ones you have listed, though.
we
right.
should also throw out it was during this lineup that Flea and Navarro contributed to the what's it called? You Ought to Know, the first single from Alanis Morissette.
No, they're all over that whole album. They were the studio musicians.
Actually, they're only on that song.
What?
Yeah, if you go back and actually look at the credits, they're only on that one.
I'll have to look at that.
But they led you to believe that they were all over it, so that all the grunge kids would go, "Yay, Alanis Morissette!"
Hey,
Right.
man, I'll fuck with that first Alanis record.
No, that first Alanis Morissette record it's a good one, man. Like honestly, like I'm not lying. Like it's a
maybe
really
that's something
good
you guys
album.
need to do next.
That's the only good one, though.
Yeah, was the Taylor drum
Ironic,
on that?
don't you think?
All right.
Taylor drum on that album?
Yeah.
Hawkings?
No, nope.
No.
He wasn't on
He
that?
joined whenever they toured.
He did the tour, but he's not on the album.
All right, Hannah, give us your 1 hot minute.
All right, this one. Remember how I said before? I had one album with a ton of notes, with like notes in the margins and shit. I don't know if you can see
Holy
this.
shit.
Like I wrote all over this page. I got lots to say. Okay, so this was the Dave Navarro album, right? And I know
Correct.
before you had said Jane's Addiction's Peppers, but let me counter that with Red Hot Addiction.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
all right. So clearly, this album was heavily influenced by their addiction and their struggles with addiction. Like in every single song on this album, the lyrics are darker. The lyrics reference addiction a lot more. We all know what they were doing in the 90s. It's no surprise. I mean, Dave Navarro was fired from the band basically because of his addiction, because it was so bad. And I think there was a period in the early 90s where Anthony had gotten kind of sober for a little bit and then just went right back into it. So anyway, let's get right into this. Yeah, so let's get right into this. So Warped. I feel like this was more rock than their previous stuff. Like maybe acid rock. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Okay. I didn't think it was a good opener. It's kind of weird. But it definitely sets the tone for the whole album. It sets the tone that this is going to be about addiction. It's going to be dark. I think it could have been written better, but I don't like it as the opener, but I get why they picked it. Like it kind of it's like a taste of what's to come. All right, Aeroplane. This one brought a lot of nostalgia back for me. I actually never realized that this song was written by the Peppers. I'd heard it before, but I had no idea that it was a Peppers song. I thought it was somebody else. I don't know. So realizing it was them, I was like shocked, I guess. It was good for me though. I like this one. Okay. Deep Kick. Here I could really feel Navarro's influence. I know their influence originally was like punk and funk, like that kind of stuff. And Navarro was more into like the heavier rock growing up. So his influences are a little different. And Deep Kick, you can kind of really hear that. I laughed at the Butthole Surfers reference in the lyrics though. For My Friends, I really liked that one. And I think I liked it because I have a soft spot for emo music, and this was like sad and angsty before emo music really took off, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
1995, baby.
Yeah, it was like the beginning of emo, like that beginning of the sad and angsty.
Well, it really was the Red Hot Chili Peppers that taught an entire generation how to have emotions.
No, really, they did. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Coffee Shop. I thought Coffee Shop was really weird at first. So I was listening to it on like a speaker, and it sounded like fucking gibberish. It was terrible, and I was like, what the fuck is this song? I'm like, the good bass, but what the fuck are these vocals? And then I put headphones on and listened to it again, and I realized that like the rah, rah, rah is in one ear, but the clean vocals are like in the other ear. And like when you listen to it with headphones, and it kind of like, I don't know, for me that did it. Like, I don't know, maybe it's because I have ADHD and I was just like, yeah. But Coffee Shop for me, I liked it a lot. I think this is going to be one of my top songs, honestly. I really, really enjoyed it. I could listen to this song over and over again. I know that this is kind of Flea's song, like he did the vocals and stuff on it, and I really love this song. This song, to me, was a work of art. Like, this song was glorious.
Mhm.
Like, this song was so good that I made my husband listen to it, because he's not really a Peppers fan, but I was like, you gotta listen to the song.
Yeah, P's good. P's good.
No, he's real good. Let's see. One Big Mob sounded really experimental. It sounded kind of like Pink Floyd to me. Like that, I don't know how to explain it, but like the experimental kind of sound. I didn't hate it though. There was a bit in the middle where there was like crying over the music, and I thought that was really weird and kind of cringe. And also I noticed Anthony borrows a lot of lyrics from other famous songs in the past. Like, he references them, but he like literally just borrows the lyrics, which I have mixed feelings about that. Walkabout, I liked the bass, but I think Flea's one of the best bassists in my opinion. I'm gonna die on that hill, but but it almost made me feel like this one also split between the ears again. Like, if you listen to it with headphones, you hear the bass in one ear and you hear the guitar in the other, and it kind of like bounces back and forth. And I like songs that do that. I like where they split it, where if you have headphones, you hear it like back and forth. I like that. That's something that really works for me. Yeah.
It's stereo, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it works for me. But Walkabout, honestly, made me feel like it reminded me of the Gorillaz. That was
Really?
like the first thought that popped into my head, and I love the Gorillaz, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, early to
can
mid
see
'90s.
that. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just the vibe that I got from it, and I liked it. It was good. Tearjerker. Oh, we know this is about Kurt Cobain, and it does. When I first listened to it, it initially sounded like it was a song about a woman, like like an ex-girlfriend, and then I find out it was about Kurt Cobain, and I think it was pretty well written. The lyrics are a little iffy in some places, but then again, I feel like that's like his kind of style, where he does a really good metaphor and then doesn't know what to rhyme with it, so he just kind of throws something together, and that's kind of apparent in the song, I feel like. One Hot Minute, the title, this is also the same thing for metaphors. They get incoherent because he says something good and then he doesn't know what to rhyme it with, so he just like picks something at random. But this one also sounded like Pink Floyd again to me, and I think that's Dave Navarro's influence, because he was more into that like heavier rock, where they were into like the punk and the funk, So that's kind of more his influence. Falling into Grace. I feel like this one, they use a little bit of a talk box in there, and I noticed on one of the other albums they use that too. And really, Peter Frampton was the one that made the talk box famous, but lots of bands have used it. But I don't know. Every time I hear a band use the talk box, I'm like, there it is. And I feel like he wanted to sound intelligent, but he's either too high or just not clever enough to make it work. Does that make sense?
Oh,
little
yeah.
of this, little of that.
like he's trying to sound really enlightened and clever, but it's not there. They're just like missing it.
Just out of reach.
Yeah. Shallow Be Thy Game. Actually, this one, I loved this one, and I don't know if you guys did or not, but the lyrics for this one really like, they kind of hit home for me. Like musically, it was really generic to me, which is a shame. But the lyrics themselves really, like, I felt the lyrics for this one, and I liked it. And then in Transcending, for the final track, okay, I really liked the melodic guitar, and I kind of felt like this is a good ending to the album. Overall, I don't think Navarro was a good fit for the band. Like, he had a totally different idea and sound and direction that he was going, that they were going, obviously. And it didn't mesh. Despite that, I still really liked this album. The darker themes kind of showed that they were maturing. They had reached the peak, and then they had hit rock bottom. You know, like, they plummeted real hard, real fast. And I feel like the themes in the songs kind of reflected that. It shows a little bit of maturity, which was kind of a nice change of pace from, like, the fuckboy shit. And honestly, they didn't really have a lot of songs about fuckboy shit in this. Like, they barely referenced it. This whole album was much, much darker. And I don't know, it just feels like their party life and their drug life and what they were doing in the previous decade kind of finally caught up with them. And they were, like, paying the piper, you know? It sounds the least like the kind of peppers that you think of when you think Red Hot Chili Peppers. But overall, I didn't hate this album. Another thing I want to say is I did listen to, like, some bonus tracks. So they did a remaster in, like, I don't know, 2003 or something. And there was a bonus track called Let's Make Evil. And that song... Woo! I got some things about that song. That song was wrong. so there's a line that says 17 and 31, I am just my mother's son. If you're 31 years old, you should not be dating a 17-year-old. Like,
Well, we're gonna get there.
We'll get there.
I'm almost 35. Okay, and I have kids that are teenagers, and, like, to think about it, like, if I were to date, like, one of my kids' friends, I'm just like,
like I said, we got the trilogy. We got Aerosmith, Nickelback, and now
yeah,
Peppers.
I literally wrote Aerosmith ass lyrics.
I'll
Next week we'll do Jerry Lee Lewis and
Rancid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had a lot to say about this album. I like the darker
Gary
themes.
Glitter.
I like that it got away from the fuckboy stuff a bit. I mean, the fuckboy stuff is classic Peppers, but I like that they moved away from it, and it just feels like they hit the peak. You know, like, Blood Sugar Sex Magic was like the peak, and then it was like an immediate crash, like a roller coaster. They're like going up and up and up, and then they just straight plummet down.
It's like crashing from a sugar high, basically.
Yeah,
like,
and One Hot Minute was like rock bottom for them.
Yeah,
like, they were
I feel that's very good. Yeah,
they were in their darkest place. They were dealing with the darkest things. I feel like Anthony, like, it's been like what 6-7 years since the other bandmate died, and he's finally, like, confronting that, and he's confronting his own addiction, and he knows that he has to do something. He knows he has to change, or it's the end for him. Like, this is going to be the end unless something changes. And I know the band almost completely ended at this point. Like, Navarro wasn't working, John was gone, the rest of the bandmates were fighting with each other. I know it was drugs. It was a bad time. They were really bad on the drugs. Just everything was real bad for them, and I feel that, and it's reflective in the lyrics. But yeah, that's my take.
All right, I'm glad I'm not guessing this one. Bill, you're up.
Yeah, Tim made me draw the short straw on this one.
You were not even the consideration here, Bill.
No, I understand, but I still got one of the short straws because I know it's also in here 5 albums later for this.
Okay.
Let's see. Based on what Hannah said, I'm gonna guess that this one's number 3 for Hannah.
Incorrect.
It's lower than the initial album? Okay.
No, I would say this one for me is my number 1 so far.
Well, you said it was a crash, though. Okay.
Yes. Because here's the thing: is I have a big soft spot for emo music, and this album is fucking emo music.
I believe we got our first hot take on the board.
That's a hot take.
This song is emo as shit, and
I never thought of this
fucking
album.
love emo.
No, she's right though. I never thought about this album as having that emo feel, and I can see how people that are attracted. Yeah, no,
I mean, look at the album
No.
cover. The album cover even looks like an emo album cover.
It does.
Yeah, I mean,
It
No,
is.
it absolutely does. It looks like 2006 emo, and that works. for
Interesting.
me.
Did Chili
Yeah,
Peppers?
I've never
invent
thought of
emo?
it that way.
So I'll go to the next batter up here. I'll say Ed has this one number 3 though.
That's correct. I do.
Okay, yeah. And then I'll go to Jason next because I think he's the next easiest.
Really?
It's easier than Tim.
I think Tim's pretty easy. But that's just me. Maybe I was more perceptive in his review of the album.
You still haven't moved mine, Jason.
Oh yeah, I just
For
see
Jason, I'll say Jason, you're gonna have this one number 4.
You got it. You got it. I would rather listen to Uplift over that, but there's the good shit on here is way better than anything on these two.
Seriously,
here's
this is the album I took like all of my top songs from.
You can have
sorry,
it.
not sorry.
You can have it.
Not a steal.
here's the thing.
Not a
Here's the
steal.
Tim's always a wild card with how he like talks versus how he actually ranks it. Because Jason, I don't think you've ever actually ranked Tim's albums correctly when you've gotten to
I've
guess.
gotten some of his. I've gotten some
Yeah,
of
when you're the
his.
first one to guess.
No, I've gotten some before. Go back and watch Aerosmith.
How many?
If you don't get this,
I'm gonna guess 6, but I don't know if it's gonna be above that first album.
No, it's not. You are absolutely correct.
Jesus Christ, that's yeah,
What?
easy guess.
And then for me, it's gonna be number 4.
You would rather listen to this than Mother's Milk?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in a
That is-
fucking heart.
Mm,
Ed, so would you. Come on. Ed, so would you.
no. See,
No, bro.
Ed, these youngins, they don't know, man. They weren't
That's
there.
not how it works.
They weren't there.
I do understand her view of this being more of like an emo kind of. I've never thought of it that way, and that's kind of an eye-waking moment for me.
it's so
I
fucking
would
emo.
rather
But
listen to this.
There's no way I would listen to that. album over
Hannah's
Mother's Milk.
rankings make sense in the context of that. Bill can't
Yeah.
claim that because Bill has 3 records above One Hot Minute that
Damn
aren't
right
that
I
different
do.
than the other 2 that are lower. So Bill's doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. Hannah's
Can
makes
we
sense. But it's a
slap
hot
Ed
take.
back into frame?
What's that?
Can we slap Ed back into frame?
He is kind of leaning a little. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. We're talking.
Blood
We're,
Sugar Sex Magic should be worse.
we're talking. No, that's not what I said. You drunk. We're talking Californication next. 1999. John Frusciante comes back. I heard it was a big record. I was there at Woodstock. So be safe. Make good decisions.
July 2nd, 1979 is when the funk died.
Yeah, we heard you. We heard you.
Funk gets stronger
You need the sticker.
as it goes longer.
I'm a